Get into it, guys. We're going to talk about the 5 hot principles of the Rockstar appointment flow. Starting with this first concept, set and spike. This is going to talk just a little bit about the model of what your acquisitions process looks like from a high level. We'll talk about the setter and closer model. Tell us a little bit about why this is like the tried and true method and why everybody should have this.
Yeah, I'm a huge advocate of the setter closer sales model. It's around us all over the place, the setter closer model. So that it's proven in many different ways. But as an acquisition person, oftentimes this is a shortcoming for teams, is they don't have a good setter closer relationship. It just, that relationship either doesn't exist or it's dysfunctional. And this is like the number one relationship that you want. This is the Batman and Robin, peanut butter and jelly. Like these go together, period. And so now the question is, well, do I have to have a setter and do I have to have a closer? I don't have that many people. Okay. Step one is just to think of the process as 2 different things. There's a setting process, a lead management process, and then there's a closing process. So that's just identifying that there's 2 different things is step one. And then as your team, you can fill it in. I mean, the advantages go through the roof.
Yeah, and by doing it this way, you can compartmentalize skill sets so that like the acquisitions guy can be the rock star and he can spike it really well each time. So we'll draw a model real quick just to kind of walk through this a little bit, and guys feel free to ask questions as we're doing this. So if you were part of the 80-20 marketing plan, kind of went over this volleyball analogy of dig, set, and spike. So dig is basically like what your cold caller is doing. Dig is just getting the hand raised. Dig is going out into the world and creating a response from any human being. Like that's like step one, is blasting out the text message. That is the dig of just like kicking up the dirt to begin with. That has to happen in any outbound marketing campaign, right? Any organic outbound marketing campaign. Yep. This could also be inbound too, right? Dig would be sending out the mail piece to get someone to call, right? So this typically, like the team that's responsible for digging, quite often is separate than from the sales team that's doing the setting and spiking. This is your VA. Typically, there's going to be a VA, your marketing team or marketing VA. And the tools that they're using, call tools.
Yep. Zen call,
REI reply.
Yep.
Batch leads.
Launch control.
Yep. Batch leads.
Yep. Mojo dialer.
Mojo, call rail. Yep. All those. These are the tools that you're using to kick up the dirt, right?
Correct.
Dig. Do you guys, does it make sense to you guys how this is totally separate and a distinct process from what we're about to talk about? Because a lot of people get this confused, right?
Exactly. This is tool. Big. This is a lot of people. It's really common for people to lump the dig and the lead management together, right? They'll either do that or they'll lump the lead manager, the setter, and the closer role together. It's kind of, but they're 3 different things. That's what we're identifying here. And the top of the funnel, this dig portion, is the lowest dollar per hour because it's the least skill set and it's the thing that needs to happen like all the time, constantly stirring up the dust systematically. Okay, that's a lower dollar per hour dust turning. You don't want this person over-qualifying leads right here. Okay, thank you. They're perfect. $1, $2, $3. Exactly right. Okay. So yeah, this is a low dollar per hour. You want systematic, and you don't want somebody over engaging with leads at this stage.
Exactly. Have them hang out in their tool, do their job really well to just dig up the ball from when it comes to the other side, right? Put it in the air.
Yep.
Once it's in the air, then we can set it up for the closer. And so the team that is typically traditionally involved with setting is both internal and external. So internal would be, we call it the lead manager, right? So lead manager. To the outside world, though, they're not called a lead manager, right? We call them something else. To the seller, they are your ops coordinator, right? Or your ops manager, right? That's what you call them.
Yep. Yep. So we're bringing lead manager language into this because that's what you hear a lot is like, oh, a lead manager. And so what we're drawing a distinction here is that that's transactional language. Like you wouldn't say, oh, my lead manager to a client, right? That's just that doesn't go. So, just for the polished here, just for us all to understand, that's an operations manager or operations coordinator or something like this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're doing is managing the leads. They're building relationships. Their job is to make friends. Okay.
Yep.
Their job is to make friends, understand motivation, understand timing. Okay. And know when the right time to push it over the edge. Okay. And there's a process to that. But that's what they're doing. To me, it's like for the operations coordinator, they're fertilizing the garden, they're tilling the garden, they're making sure that everything is nurtured the way it needs to be. Everything they want to give everything the best chance to pop. Okay.
Good way to put it. They're the gardener.
They're the gardener.
So they manage pipeline and
Yep.
nurture pipeline. So
Yep.
What tools do they use?
Their lead management tool. So whatever you're using to manage the lead. So the thing that I'll say is this is where we need this person to protect the integrity of the file. Okay. Protect the integrity of the file is critical at this stage. When it becomes a real lead, now we have a desktop analysis. Now we have time into the file. Now we have, really something to talk about. Okay. Something to nurture, something that goes to an appointment, all of that. Okay. So we need to protect the integrity of the file, make sure all the communications in the right spot, all the notes are there, the files are in the right spot so that everybody moving from this file moving forward has a good, consistent file. This person needs to be able to go slowly through the checklist to make sure the checklist is there and done properly. Because who doesn't do a great job at that?
The salesperson.
The rock star.
Yeah.
They're way too busy being a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
You may ask, how do you guys feel about a VA in this role? That 100%. I mean, that's who should be in that role.
Okay. So, if the operations manager to me is the best of its internal from a spot that it's you want the VA on the top on the dig, you want an internal on the set and the close, ideally from a culture perspective, from a relationship perspective. That's when the reputation is going to be people are going to really determine if they like your company, how they feel about you, how they feel about everything right there in that lead manager spot and the operations coordinator. Okay. So this is the role that I feel is underserved.
Yes.
This is the role that I feel like an A player here makes the rock star just like it sets the
Triple
stage.
A player.
Yeah. Like, I mean, a good lead manager there is invaluable. It's truly a game. It has the potential to be a game changer, and just from a nurturing perspective.
Yep. I am of the belief that the first hire any solopreneur investor should make is a lead manager.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're probably the salesperson too. And if they're not a rock star in the one thing that's producing revenue, then you need to support that. That's the 80-20 process that needs direct support before anything else.
Totally agree. And then enough revenue allows for the business to scale out.
Yep.
Okay. We have to lead with revenue. And that's why this is a really common thing. And this has been so well documented in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, you know, the Gary Keller books, he talks about all this, the rainmaker. We're talking about supporting the rainmaker. You got to, you know, like this, that's the whole principle here. So we support the rainmaker, we protect the integrity of the file, and a great lead manager creates that wow experience for the client. So this is the person that can send the handwritten letter to the client, you know, after an offer got accepted or declined, that can put that extra little love and care into the experience that that client has, winning or losing with you guys, right? That's that person. Okay. Again, the rock star, they're out busy running and gunning, doing the true analysis. We'll get there, but I mean, they have their role, but oftentimes the shortcoming of a good rock star are the details.
Yes.
Are the details. Right? So we're taking the details off their plate, giving the details their own role, and allowing the rock star just to get out.
Which brings us to the final component here, the spike. And this is your, of course, acquisitions manager.
Yep.
Your rock star.
Integrator. I see in the chats here. I'm sorry, I'm not paying close attention to the chats, but yes, Preston, integrator. Yeah, you're totally on spot. Yep. They're an integrator.
Yep. And so the acquisitions manager, like we said before, they are working in conjunction with the lead manager, right? Can you describe the day-to-day kind of coalition that they have?
Yeah. So the lead manager and the acquisition manager, that's the Batman Robin. That's where, you know, the one sets to the other, and they are, you know, one, you know, they refer back and forth to each other. So they're a true teammate. And we're all teams, you know, through this, but this one is critical. So the lead manager, as what I believe is the best place to set an appointment, is as close to the decision-making time as possible. So when the client's ready to make a decision, that's when we go out to the appointment. The further off that mark you are, the worse off you are. So in other words, the best appointment set is the day that they are ready to sign. That's the day that they're ready to sign a contract is the day you go out there. That's the best. Okay. It's the ideal from an appraising stance. It all comes down to value and accuracy. Okay. This is why I'm saying this. Okay. It's, we want to build the rapport. The rapport has been set. You know, if the lead manager is doing their job right, we already love the client. The client already understands working with us. That relationship has already been established. Now it's a timing thing. When are you ready to really consider an offer? That's when I'm going to send out our asset manager, who will then do the evaluation and be able to make an offer on the spot and give you also the net sheet and walk you through X, Y, and Z, right? So you set the stage there. Now, the reason we do it right there and we explain it to the client is because of the appraisal process. What we're doing is we're going out and we're doing an appraisal. We're driving the comps, we're looking at the subject property, we're filling out repair sheets, and we're taking all of that to make our offer right there on the spot. It's an accuracy thing. The further away, if we look at it on, you know, on one day and then you want an offer 30 days later, are we going to go look at the property again before closing? Typically we are, right? We're going to have to see that nothing changed. Okay. So if you do this too far off the mark, off the decision-making spot, you create double work, right? Or unmet expectations can happen. So you want to create that moment. So the lead manager holds and builds the posture and builds the pressure until, okay, it's decision time. Okay, let's get you on the calendar. Perfect. The asset manager is ready to roll. This is how it's going to go. Then it sets the proper expectation. Okay, so that's the proper set. Then the spike, right? All of the person's ready to make an offer, or they're really, really close to making an offer. And now the asset manager is fully prepared. They have all their desktop analysis done. They know that there's a decision coming up. They go drive the comps. They're the critical, you know, they're going to set the value. So we want them to not shortcut their process, right? Go through their full process, drive the comps, see the subject, and then walk through the sales process at the subject property.
Yep. And the tools that they're using, we try to limit it as much as possible, because what are they not good at? Technology.
Okay.
Give them, you know, iPad, the app that I'm using right now, and that.
Yep.
Eric. installs for all his clients is Notability.
Yep.
Notability. And other than that, you can use tools like Voxer. So in Notability, you can send voice memos. So you can attach a voice memo back to the lead manager. Hey, follow up tomorrow. He has to talk with his wife, but they seem like they're good to go. 40,000. Send a contract over for 2,000, and then they don't have to touch the CRM. The lead manager takes care of all those details, and they just use their voice and their iPad to do their work and stay out of the weeds.
Yep. So I see a question about virtual versus in person. So you would operate the exact same virtually, right? Except for you would just substitute the in-person for a Zoom. If you could. Okay. Just the same process. Okay. So everything on the iPad, as long as you're digital, you literally have that level of flexibility. I can meet you in person and go through this, or I can meet you on Zoom and go through this. Same application, same process, same.
Yep. So there's a tool called Calendly that integrates with Zoom. So you can actually, when someone books an available time on Calendly, it automatically creates a Zoom link and then automatically adds that Zoom link to a calendar event on their Google Calendar. Yep. So that's all taken care of just natively through that Calendly and Zoom integration. And so instead of going to your address, they're just going to Zoom. You're both meeting there at the same time. You're sharing your screen like I am here, and you're just walking them through the sales conversation.
Yep. Yeah, and we use exactly what Dan's saying. So the Calendly, so we have a phone appointment Calendly link, and we have an in-person appointment Calendly link. So depending on the lead manager, they just use whatever link is appropriate. They pull up that link, then they can go right at see, the asset manager's schedule, and they can right over the phone with the person say, okay, well, it looks like they're available tomorrow at 2:00. Okay, this is going to be a Zoom appointment. Just want to make sure we're clear. He's going to have X, Y, and Z, right?